Just yesterday, PBC, Mayweather Promotions, and Showtime Championship Boxing released the undercard info for Tank Davis defending his 135-pound WBA world champion against highly ranked fighter Isaac Cruz on December the 5th of 2021. That's a Sunday night pay-per-view, by the way, and it's safe to say that the pay-per-view is probably going to be $79.99 on Showtime pay-per-view. Here's the undercard. You're going to have Sebastian Fundora. Let's go full screen. Sebastian, the Towering Inferno Fundora, whose height changes every single fight. One fight he's fucking 6'5", one fight he's 6'9", another fight he's 6'7". Well, anyway, he's taken on undefeated, also a very good fighter who I've covered many of his fights in the past. If I'm correct, is he still a Sergio Martinez fighter? But now Sergio Martinez fighters, Mayweather Promotions, fight under Pro Bellum. Well, anyway, that's a WBC title eliminator. The winner is supposed to go on to take on Erickson Lubin. Now, I could have sworn Erickson Lubin was already the mandatory for Jermell Charlo, WBC, WBA, IBF, 154-pound champion, but turns out he's not. So the winner of Fundora versus Garcia is going to have to face Erickson Lubin to be the mandatory for the winner of Jermell Charlo, Brian Castaño 2, if that happens, or Jermell Charlo versus Bakhram Murtazaliev, IBF #1 contender, if that happens. 154 pounds is still pretty stacked and top heavy. You're going to have Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Let's pull him up. Who's going to be taking on Carlos Adameson, also a very good fight. Sergiy Derevyanchenko, 13-3 with 10 KOs, but those were some big losses that he's had. Jermall Charlo during the pandemic last year, during the Charlo doubleheader in the pay-per-view. Golovkin, a lot of people felt that he actually beat Golovkin. Jack Couquet, significant fight. Him and Danny Jacobs fought a war. So Carlos Adames, only one loss. That was who did he lose to? 20-1 with 16 KOs to Patrick Teixeira for the WBO interim title, the one that Castaño got after Castaño beat Teixeira. So he's on the PBC side now. Very, very, very overall good fight. And then you have Eduardo Ramirez taking on Miguel Marriaga. 25-2-3 Ramirez, 12 KOs. Significant fights against Ludin Barthélemy, Miguel Flores, Lee Selby. This is the opener of the pay-per-view. Remember, $80. Miguel Marriaga, 30-4 with 26 KOs. Significant fights against Joet Gonzalez, Lomachenko, Oscar Valdez. He was supposed to fight Shakur Stevenson before the country had shut down COVID last year. By the way, take your time out, like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy or at FightView360. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at T Street Controversy. My bad, I had to take a little bit of a jump cut. So Tank Davis is going to be defending his portion of the 135-pound WBA title, 25-0 with 24 KOs. We are not paying for Tank Davis versus Rolly, if it was going to be Rolly, who's facing some serious sex deviant allegations. So he had to be pulled, especially in this era, and I completely agree with it. And frankly, we haven't talked about it at all on the channel. We have to do a whole video on Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz and what happened with Rolly Romero. But frankly, I did some investigation, independent investigation. I'm not the motherfucking police, but I'm saying shit looks suspect and there's too many people alleging the same shit, and I believe them, So, and Rolly always seemed a little, touched, to me, if you get what I'm saying, Tank Davis is the name. He is what we're paying for. His pay-per-views is averaged somewhere between 200, 300,000 pay-per-view buys. He's proven to be a very good ticket seller. Mario Barrios, Leo Santa Cruz, he was losing to Mario Barrios fight, and then he started chasing down Mario Barrios and stopped him in 11. Yurick Gamboa, 1 foot, 1 shoe, but his last, couple of fights, pay-per-view. He's pay-per-view now. So him versus Isaac Cruz, of course, especially with the pay that he's making, they're going to keep him pay-per-view. Isaac Cruz, 22-1-1 with 15 KOs. He had the knockout of the year a year ago against Diego Magdaleno, put him to sleep something fierce. And I believe that was also on the Leo Santa Cruz, Tank Davis undercard, right? Let me check real quick. And just so happens, Isaac Cruz, yeah, Isaac Cruz would have been the step in next in line, after George Kambosos, if George Kambosos didn't fight Teofimo Lopez. And frankly, also, he was the next in line IBF mandatory. So he's getting a title shot. But here's the thing with the WBA, the winner of, wait a minute, what's going on with Rolly Romero's interim title? Because with the WBA, with what they're doing, they're supposed to be unifying and getting rid of those underling titles. So the winner of Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero was supposed to take on Teofimo Lopez, or to be Teofimo Lopez as mandatory, because Tank Davis decided to drop his 130-pound title, and he still has his 140-pound world title. So we really don't know what he's going to do next. But his next fight, if he beats Isaac Cruz, which is a very good fight, by the way, don't get it twisted, very much more competitive than Rolly Romero would have been. But it's going to be really interesting to see what Tank Davis does next, whether it's 135 or 140, because they've been really, interesting with the matchmaking for him, to keep him on pay-per-view. So I'm wondering, are those rumors that have been circulating out there, about him possibly touching 147? It's possible. So we're going to leave that at that. Just wanted to give you a little quick update, on the undercard being announced. It's going to be on December the 5th of Sunday, likely $79.99 on pay-per-view. Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz, with Sebastian Formella versus Sergio Garcia, WBC Eliminator. You're going to have Sergiy Derevyanchenko versus Carlos Adames. Both of those fights right there, by the way, can be its own event, its own headline, its own card. Sebastian Fundora, Sergio Garcia, and Derevyanchenko versus Carlos Adames. So that's what I like to see in the undercard, especially for a card where it's like, why is this on pay-per-view? And with the pay-per-views with Canelo versus Plant just last week on the 6th, with Tank Davis, with Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter on November the 20th. A couple of weeks later on a Sunday, you're going to have this pay-per-view. Then you got Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, also on pay-per-view. These pay-per-views been whooping us, bro. Whooping us bad. But anyway, I'm getting up out of here. I'm T-Street Controversy with FightView360.com. Take a time out, like the video, subscribe, and we will be doing a thorough video and stream on Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz in the card coming up soon. Also, follow me on Twitter at T-Street Controversy. All the links are right down below in the description box. Please subscribe.